Magic the Gathering Foundations has released. And you know what that means. After 3 hours of recording and over 30 hours of editing, I am finally able to deliver to you all the premium Magic the Gathering Foundations Commander tier list. Hooray! No, but seriously, this actually did take like a really long time. So if you would, please like the video and share support. It helps me out a lot. Please, this took so long. Please. I'm ranking these commanders off of how fun they are, not really how powerful they are, because, you know, commanders are a format of self-expression. You know, the general consensus is that most of the commander player base builds decks to make their opponents go, wow, that's pretty cool. Like, you know, you jam your favorite pet cards in there. You play all your weird jank strategies that wouldn't work anywhere else. It's the format of self-expression. So I'm ranking these commanders not really off how powerful they are, but how just well designed they are. For example, a commander that kind of pigeonholes you into like a weird, just like niche mechanic, like cycling, like Gabby Nestwarden, where every list is gonna look very cookie cutter because you have no choice really but to run all of the cycling cards and like the 10 playable cycling payoffs, at which point you have like maybe 10 slots to make your deck unique. Now you could say, oh well, actually, Balance Man, I play Gabby Nestwarden and don't play cycling. Cool, bro. Then why are you playing Gabby Nestwarden? Why? Just play literally any other blue-white red commander at that point. So a commander that doesn't really give you a lot of flexibility when it comes to building your deck is going to be in the NPC tier, because every deck just looks the same and isn't really discernible from each other. Also, this set has a crap ton of uncommon commanders that just are like not good. I'll give you an example here just to get out of the way. Seer Alin, the Lion's Claw. It's like a 5-mana 3/3 that when it attacks gives your whole team +1/+1, and that's it. It might have like a keyword or something. I can't really. Oh, it has First Strike. It's a 4/4, not a 3/3. My bad. Sorry, God. This set has a lot of like really weird uncommon commanders like that, where it's like they're legendary, you can play them as commanders, but it's not advised, and there's probably just a better option for you if you just look hard enough. So I'm going to save you and me a whole lot of time by just making it an uncommon tier, because almost every single one of these uncommon commanders are just very unamusing. There's a couple that are like kind of unique and I think are worth talking about, and when I get to them I will. But for the most part, every uncommon commander is going to be in this tier. And then there is Strictly Worse. Strictly Worse is basically just like, if a commander is like trying to do something, but a different commander does the same thing, but like better in every way, either through power or just like through the way they do it, it goes in the Strictly Worse tier. So I'd say for the most part, uncommon and Strictly Worse tiers are tiers you should avoid. Probably NPC tier 2, but if you really like the theme of that commander, you know, if you want to play cycling deck, you know, go ahead, I'm not gonna stop you. And we got the three good tiers, I'll call them, the 3 good tiers. Perfect design, amazing, no notes, just fun all around to build, gives you nearly limitless possibility when it comes to building your deck, and is just a good commander in general. Unique and fun. It's a unique design. It's pretty original. It's a design you haven't really seen before. It's unique and fun. It's almost like a tier's named that. Wow. And then there's Dees. It's okay. The design's not really totally brand new, but if you play it, it's probably gonna be at least fun to some degree. Alright, so getting into the tier list here. We're doing Jumpstart first, and we're going by color. So first we have white for Jumpstart. We'll go down the color list, and then we'll do the main set. If you want to skip Jumpstart because you just don't care about Foundation Jumpstart commanders, skip to the timestamp, which will probably be somewhere on the screen, or you can just scroll through the video and it should be there somewhere. First up, we have Who do we have, actually? Adeline, Resplendent Cathar. 1 white for a legendary human knight creature with vigilance. It is a star 4. Adeline's power is equal to the number of creatures you control. Whenever you attack, for each opponent, create a 1/1 white human token that's attacking that player or a planeswalker they control. So Adeline swings. She makes 3 1/1 bodies that are already swinging. She's just like a really good token engine. If you want to play mono white tokens, she's really good. She's gonna make you 3 1/1s every turn. That's a Elspeth Sun's Champion activation, which is pretty good. Also, Adeline herself has vigilance. She'll protect you pretty well. She can have a lot of power by having lots of creatures. It's mono white, go wide. What are we gonna say? Next up, we have Brigon, Soldier of Meletis. 1 white for a legendary human soldier creature. 2/2 with vigilance. It has heroic. Super old keyword from Theros. Let's see what it does. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Brigon, put a +1/+1 counter on Brigon. You can tap Brigon to remove a +1/+1 counter from her to draw a card.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So, Feather gives you card draw because you can play a bunch of, like, targeted cantrips. And you get access to 2 cards as opposed to 1. You gotta tap her to draw the cards, too, so you can't even, like, play a bunch of cantrips. You can't even, like, play a bunch of cantrips in 1 turn to draw a bunch of cards. It's you draw 1 a turn, and your reward for targeting Brigon with a bunch of spells is, like, a single +1/+1 counter. Yeah, no. There's, like, no reason to play her. Strictly works, Brigon. Get gone. Get gone. What are we gonna say? Get gone. Next up, we got Brimaz, King of Oreskos, the OG mythic from Theros block. 1 white for... Oh, I should mention, we are actually covering the reprints, too, because this is a starter set. Lots of players are going to be getting into Magic through this set, so even though there are some reprint commanders in this set, I actually am going to cover all of them for the new players' sake, because not a lot of new players aren't going to understand that some of these cards are not new. Brimaz, 1 white for a legendary cat soldier creature, 3/4 vigilance. Whenever Brimaz attacks, make a 1/1 white cat soldier token with vigilance attacking. Whenever Brimaz blocks a creature, create a 1/1 white cat soldier token with vigilance that's blocking that creature. Compare Brimaz to, like, Adeline. First of all, Brimaz says that specifically he himself has to attack. Adeline is just if you attack in general. Brimaz makes 1 token a turn. I guess technically you can make up to 4 if every opponent attacks you, but that's probably not gonna happen. He's a 3/4, which is like it's an acceptable body for a commander that has to attack to do its thing. It's an acceptable body. I have always had the opinion that if your commander has to attack to do its thing, it needs to have a decent stat block. Which 3/4 vigilance is not terrible, right? It can attack and won't always die. But if your opponent has, you know, a couple of green beasties, Brimaz is not going to win that fight. I struggle to see how Brimaz is possibly a better commander than Adeline. Adeline's power at scales with her creatures too. Brimaz just makes some cats. Oh boy, I'm sorry, dude. I'm really sorry. Danitha. Danitha Capuchin. It's not Danitha Capuchin Paragon. It's Danitha Capuchin Paragon. 2 white for a legendary human knight creature, 2/2. First strike, vigilance, and lifelink. Aura and equipment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. She is an uncommon, but she does not feel like one. That keyword soup is like really good. Once you pump her up a little bit, that first strike means she'll usually win combat. Vigilance means she can protect you really well, and lifelink means that you will be gaining a crap ton of life in this deck. And furthermore, she ramps you. She makes your equipment cost less, which is actually a pretty big deal, because one of the base complaints about equipment in general is that they're just a little too mana intensive most time for effect, because you gotta cast them and then pay the equip cost, which usually ends up being like 4 or 5 mana most of the time, which is just a little too much. So Danitha does kind of combat that. Furthermore, she also reduces the cost of auras too, so you're not even forced into doing equipment. You can do auras if you want, or maybe even do like a little mishmash, be a little funny haha, be a little hipster. Whoa, auras and equipment, yeah, awesome. White has had some like, well, White usually actually ends up being like pretty equipment focused, but Danitha gives you like a lot of flexibility just because she just is reduction in the command zone. Like, she's just ramp for auras and equipment, and she just is keyword soup. Yeah, unique and fun because she's very flexible. I like her a lot. Like literally, just if you pump her with just like a decent equipment, like a Loxodon Warhammer, where she gives a 5 to a first strike, like dude, you will gain so much life. Or like a Mace of the Valiant, dude. Oh my god. Danitha can become like a really solid beater really fast. We have Gyata! We have Gyata! 1 white for a legendary 2/2 angel creature with flying and vigilance. Each other angel you control enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it for each angel you already control. And you can tap her to add white and spend this mana only to cast an angel spell. I remember when Gyata first released, I was like, oh, this is cringe. Gyata's bad. Angels cost like so much. They're always like 6 mana, and oh, you get like what, 1 or 2 +1/+1 counters on your angel, so they're a little bigger, and she ramps you only for angels. Ramping for 1 in the command zone is not enough for all these angels, bro. They're like 6 and 7 drops. It's stupid. Gyata's not good. That was the wrong take to have. She is actually like really good. First of all, angels are a tribe that is always getting new tools like every set. Like I want to say almost every set has at least 1 angel in the rare slot or mythic slot. So you're always getting like some bomb, like busted mythic or rare angel you could potentially add to your deck if you like them. Gyata being a 2-drop that ramps you means that your deck just gets to curve out perfectly every single game. Because she gives this like +1/+1 counter boost, depending on how many angels you already have, your angels actually scale with the game. Turn 3, you play a 4-drop angel. Turn 4, you play a 5-drop angel. And they get more and more counters as the game goes longer. Like, the only other angel commander that's not Kalia, because Kalia is a whole, like, different thing, is, like, Lyra Dawnbringer, who's, like, a 5-drop and gives her angels +1/+1 lifelink. The Anthem, the power boost just goes away if Lyra dies. The boost Gyata gives is just there forever, because it's counters. So, Gyata gives you a perfect curve and actually allows your angels to scale with the game. She's actually, like, really good, and to this day, I think is like one of the most popular and honestly most powerful commanders as well. Next up, we have Mikaeus the Lunarch. X and a white for a legendary human cleric creature as a 0/0. Okay, not too good. Mikaeus enters with X +1/+1 counters on it. You can tap Mikaeus to put a +1/+1 counter on him, or you can tap and remove a counter from Mikaeus to put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. So Mikaeus is a Anthem engine because you can keep tapping him over the course of the game to just keep giving your whole board more and more +1/+1 counters. Mono White has a pretty heavy selection of like counter synergies too. There's all like the Outlast creatures from like Tarkir, where it's like each creature with a counter on it gets like lifelink or first strike or whatever. He's mono white counters. He's pretty cool. I'm gonna put him in unique and fun. Where is he? Is he not in this list? Mikaeus the Lunarch is not on the site for some reason. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why. Just pretend that he's in unique and fun, I guess. Semilia. Semila. Melician Poet. 2 and a white for a human bard creature. 1/1. Whenever you cast your first enchantment spell each turn, create a 2/2 white nymph enchantment creature token. Nymph. I'm not even sure if we've ever even had nymphs in the game before. King of each combat, if you draw 5 more enchantments, Samila gets +4/+4 and gains lifelink until end of turn. So mono white enchantments already has light paws. Make some tokens. To be honest, if Ajani's Chosen was legendary, I think that'd be just a better commander straight up than Samila. I'm gonna put it in Dece. Kala, Ajani's Pride Mate. Get it? Ajani's Pride Mate, like the card, like where it's like you gain life and get countered. Yeah. Get it? Whenever Kala attacks, other attacking creatures you control get +X+O until end of turn, where X is the number of counters on Kala. Okay. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Kala. Okay, why is that not the first thing on why is the gain life, put a counter on Kala not the first part of the card? Why is it out of order? And you get paid 3 and a white to gain 1 life. That's stupid. Don't do that. So now you can have Johnny's Pride Mate Lord in the command zone. I mean, she's a finisher for your life gain decks in the command zone, which is not terrible. Part of me questions how good Kala is compared to like Heliod. I feel like she's mid. I think there's other life gain commanders that are probably better, but the fact that she pumps her whole board based on the number of counters she has is really cool. Plus, she's in Ajani's Pride Mate in the command zone, which is like one of the most iconic life gain cards of all time. So I'll leave her in Dece. Thurid, Mare of Destiny. 2 white for a legendary Pegasus creature, 2/4 flying lifelink. Whenever you cast a Pegasus, unicorn, or horse creature spell, copy it. The copy becomes a token. Other Pegasi, unicorns, and horses get +1/+1. Bro, I got bad news, alright? I got bad news. You're copying, like, your 10, if even that many, good mythic rare horses, and Pegasi, and unicorns, and then you're stuck with, like, Mesa unicorns. Oh my god. No. There's, like, nothing to do with her. It's literally it's just you shove a deck full of, like, the best Pegasi, unicorns, and horses, in which I hate to tell you, your pickings are slim. Your pickings are slim, bro. NPC tier. NPC tier. Finally, for white, we have Erdinan, Dramoka Warrior. 1 white. Whenever Erdinan enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Whenever you attack, target attacking creature with a +1/+1 counter on it gains first strike until end of turn. If that creature has 2 or more counters on it, it gains double strike instead.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
No. Double strike is kind of cool, I guess, but like, you're playing counters. Just play Mikaeus. Like, just play Mikaeus straight up. Just play Mikaeus. He's better in every way. Oh, what? You want double strike? Go and play and go play equipment and just run like Fire Shriekers and Brass Knuckles. Moving on to the blue tier here. Blue cards of Jumpstart. We have Near Div, Devious Diver. 2 in a blue for a legendary Merfolk Rogue creature. 2/2. Whenever Near Div becomes tapped, target player mills cards equal to its power. Whenever you cast a spell from your graveyard or activate an ability of a card in your graveyard, draw a card and put a +1/+1 counter on Near Div. So, Secrets of the Dead in the command zone that also mills you. I'm pretty sure this is like a brand new design, at least for a commander. Like we've had River Kelpie and Secrets of the Dead exist before, which give you like card draw for casting spells in your graveyard. But like Near Div is that, and also a mill engine, and she gets boosted for casting spells too. Like, she's really cool. Like you can play with flashback spells. You can run like your Snapcasters and your. I think there's a new Sphinx in the set too that like Lets you attack and give any spell in your graveyard flashback for the whole turn. I actually think she's like really cool, like a lot. Like she's a really cool commander actually. It's like mono blue graveyard. That's cool. Next up we have Padim, Console of Innovation. 3 in a blue for a legendary 1/4 Vidalcan Artificer creature. Artifacts you control have hexproof. Really good. Beginning of your upkeep, if you control an artifact with the highest mana value or tied for the highest mana value, draw a card. So Padim gives your artifacts protection. Always good. And it gives you a little bit of card draw if you have the fattest artifact in the field. Blue, I feel, tends to get like a few ways to add extra mana for artifacts. Like I think there's a few creatures that actually add for like Vidalcan Artificer. I think it's like a 2-drop. It adds 2 for artifacts only though, which is like pretty good. So I would say like getting a high mana value artifact is like kind of hard because blue's a pretty slow color. But mono blue actually does get a few ways to try and like turbo out big artifacts as well. So you're not gonna, I don't think you're gonna have problems of him feeling too weak. I'm gonna say he's decent. Because he doesn't really give your artifacts anything interesting. He's just protection and card draw in a command zone. Which is never gonna be bad. That would never be bad. Next up we have Plagon, Lord of the Beach. Lord of the Beach. 2 in the blue for a legendary starfish wizard creature, 0/3. When Plagon, Lord of the Beach enters, draw a card for each creature you control with toughness greater than its power. Okay. White or blue, target creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power this turn. So we already have Arcades, who gives you card draw for playing toughness matters creatures already. And I believe Arcades himself also actually gives you the whole, like, creatures deal damage equal to their toughness rather than their power. Yeah, and Arcades is 4. So Plagon is like... So Plagon, if you want a creature to deal damage equal to its power, you have to pay the 1 every time. Which is kind of a hassle. But at the same time, I feel like Plagon can also draw you, like, way more cards than Arcades can. Because all it takes is, like, 1 blank spell, and then it can draw you, like, 4 or 5 cards. Because he enters and you draw a card for each creature you control with toughness greater than its power. And that includes himself. So you're drawing at least 1. So I'm thinking, like, you play this toughness matters deck and then you run, like, a few cheap blink spells for utility. That way Plagon can just, like, refill your hand. I feel like Arcades is probably better most of the time, but being able to cast, like, a Cloud Shift on Plagon and draw, like, 6 cards, I just know it's just, like, serotonin in my veins directly. I'm gonna say you make it fun, because he gives you a blink sub-theme to your toughness deck. Next up, Pol Jamar, Illusionist. Where's the... Here it is. 4 blue. Oh, expensive. For a 4/5 human illusion wizard creature with flying. When Pol Jamar enters, choose a creature type. Draw a card for each creature you control of that type. What? Okay. So, first of all, you might read this guy and think, oh, I can build, like, whatever tribe I want in mono blue. Hooray! The issue is that he does not say draw a card for each other creature, which means that technically, if you're not building mono blue humans, illusions, or wizards, it's suboptimal. You're drawing 1 less card than you could be. I'm also not even sure what you would build, to be honest, in mono blue. That's, like, worth it.
There's nothing. Thank you, son.
If by some miracle there's a tribe in Mono Blue that you've just been like, oh my god, there's no commander. There's no commander for Homerids. Oh my god. Then there you go. There's your answer to your Mono Blue Homerid deck. All you 10 Homerid diehard fans out there. There you go. Great. Psy, Master Thopterist. 2 in a blue for a 1/4 human artificer creature. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, make a 1/1 Thopter flying. Pay 1 in blue. Sack 2 artifacts. Draw a card. He's fine. He's okay. I mean, he's gives you a bonus for casting artifacts, and you can sack artifacts to draw cards. He's just kind of like artifact flood. He's decent. He's decent. Seer Eleonora, the Discerning. Bro, imagine that being your title. Ah, yes, it is I, the Discerning. What the fuck does that mean, bro? Half of the kids in the world don't even know what discerning means. 3 blue. Oh, it's already not great. It's already not great. Star 4. Legendary human knight creature. Eleonora's power is equal to the number of cards in your hand. When Eleonora enters, draw a card. And then she has Ward 2, but not really, because it's like a static ability rather than a trigger. Oh my god, this thing's horrible. This thing is uncommon. Get in there. Cool. Moving on. We have Taeko, the Patient Avalanche. 3 in a blue for a legendary Turtle Ninja. Turtle Ninja! Finally! We have one, chat! Oh my god. What's he do? He enters tapped. Okay, because the turtle. Okay, I get it. Whenever another creature control leaves the battlefield, if it didn't die, scry 1, put a counter on Taeko. What? Okay. Whenever you attack, may pay blue or black. When you do, target attacking creature can't be blocked this turn. Oh no, he's bad. Oh, he's so mid, chat. Oh, he's so mid. Oh, he's so mid. Oh, he's so mid. Oh, he's so mid, chat. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. He's so mid. Look, you might think Mono Blue is like a good blink color. It's actually not. Like, Mono Blue legit, like, actually does not get a ton of good ways to blink creatures. However, ninjutsu does trigger him. Also, unfortunately, I believe there's only like 20 ninjutsu cards in Mono Blue, and only like a quarter of them are even good. Oh wait, no, it's not Mono Blue, it's Demir. So Taeko is just a different ninja commander, but Yuriko exists. Oh my god. For the love of God! Please! Why? Ninjas can be so cool, but Yuriko has to exist and just outclass everything. Why is he enter tapped? Oh, for the flavor bounce, man. Bro, he has to compete with Yuriko. He has to fight Yuriko. Yuriko can throw hands. She wins every time. High diff, bro. Like, what? Oh my god, dude. Now, me personally, if I was playing Taeko, and I knew in the back of my mind that Yuriko just high diffed me every single game, I would just want to like I would just want to commit 1 with nothing. But you know, the only reason to play Taeko is to like cast him and go like just sing the TMNT theme song. That's it. That's the only reason to play him. Otherwise, you just play Yuriko. Venser, Shaper Savant, 2 blue, human wizard 2/2 with flash. When he enters, return a spell or permanent to its owner's hand. Okay, whatever. Fine. You want what? You want a bounce spell in the command zone? Sure, I guess. Good for you. He got new art. It's pretty sick. We have Sinette, Jelly Drover, 3 in blue, so 4 mana for a 2/2 human wizard creature. When Sinette enters or dies, make a 1/1 blue jellyfish creature with flying. And then creatures you control with flying get +1/+1. Alright, cool. Kanji, there's like way more flying commanders in blue-white too, so you're not locked in a mono blue and you get like way better payoffs. Just play, dude. Play one of the several Azorius flying commanders. Don't play Sinet. Don't do it. You'll have way more fun, I promise. Naban, Dean of Iteration. 1 to blue for a 2/1 human wizard creature. If a wizard you control entering causes a trigger ability of a permanent you control or trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So, ETBs are doubled for your wizards. Pretty good. He's 2 mana, nice and cheap, so even if he dies, he can still come out for a pretty reasonable mana cost. Usually, Mono Blue Wizards plays Azami, I think, because of the card draw, but like, Naban is like perfectly acceptable. Wizards, I think, are a pretty underrepresented tribe. There's also Anala, which, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, might just be Naban but better. Because you just pay 1 and you copy the wizard, which copies any ETB you would have gotten in the first place. And Anala has Eminence, so you just don't have to cast her. And also Anala is Grixis, so you have access to 2 more oh no. Oh god. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Rip Naban. Just build Anala and put him in the 99 so you can get 4 ETBs for your wizards as opposed to 2. Finally, we have Thrix, the Sudden Storm. 3 blue for a 4/5 elemental giant creature. Flash, flying. Spells you cast with mana value 5 or greater cost 1 less to cast and can't be countered. Mono blue tends to be a very reactive color, so Thrix allows you to be reactive and also play the big spells and not get punished because they can't be countered and make them cost less. Also, Thrix himself has Flash, so on your opponent's end step, oh, you didn't do anything? Cool. Play the big giant dude. Now my big spells cost less and can't be countered. So you physically cannot say no to my blatant thievery or expropriate. You will sit there and you will watch me cast my big spells and cry as your counter spells are now cards with no text. People wonder why Mono Blue almost always ends up being like 20 plus counterspell fun police. Guess what, bro? It's because they kind of have to. They kind of have to most of the time. Because they just don't have the speed to keep up with every other color pairing and monocolor. Moving on to black here, we have Ophelia. JK, no we don't. We have... Who is that? The Rev, Tithe Extractor. That's the wrong shit. That's the wrong tab. We got Rev, Tithe Extractor. 3 and a black for a 3/3 human rogue creature. Whole lot of text in this one. Whenever you attack, target creature gains Death Touch until end of turn. Spicy. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal common damage to a player, create a treasure token and then look at the top card of that player's library and exile it face down. You may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled. Oh my god! Gonti, Lord of Luxury, get the hell out of here. There's a new queen in town. She bad as hell. Oh my god! She's so good, dude! She gives things Death Touch. She can take multiple things from someone's deck. It is, you may cast that card, not you may play. So if you exile a land, unfortunately, you just can't play it, which kind of sucks. But like, you're like this mono black, like, theft deck that with like Death Touch. You can run like, what's the, I think it's like Hooded Blightfang, where it's like, you get Death Touch payoffs. Yeah, like, it's like, gives your Death Touchers like life drain, dude. She's like really cool. I actually like her a lot. You know what? Perfect design. Perfect. I like her a lot. She's cool. Next up, we have Rodolph Duskbringer. 5 and a black for a 4/4 vampire angel creature. Flying, Death Touch, lifelink. Lots of keywords. Whenever you gain life, Rodolph gains indestructible until end of turn. Getting your end step may pay 1 in a white or black. When you do, return target creature card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn. I have seen Rodolph actually do pretty well before. I've always been turned off by him because I feel the clashing of themes. Like, having to be life gain and reanimator, I always felt was a little too clashy. Like, the themes didn't really fit together that well, but I've seen him do work before. I'm pretty sure he's like the only life gain reanimator commander in existence. So, like, unique and fun. And plus Rodolph himself has lifelink. So, if nothing else, you'll always be able to get back at least a 4-drop. Tabarax, Hope's Demise. Tuna black for a 2/2 demon cleric creature with flying. Tabarax has lifelink as long as it has 5 or more +1/+1 counters on it. Whenever another non-token creature control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Tabarax. If that creature was a cleric, you may draw a card. If you do, you lose 1 life. Like how many clerics even are in mono black? I don't even know. 109. I mean, you can make him work, man, but like the payoff is kind of just like not there. The payoff is, so I mean, you run a bunch of like really bad creatures to what, draw some cards? Oh wait, no. Wait, no. Okay, so I totally forgot. I totally forgot. You're mono black, which means that you get Shadowborn Apostle, which is a creature that you need 6 of and can run any number of to sack them all and go and just cheat a demon from your deck into play. If you sack 6 apostles, Tabarax is going to get 6 counters. He'll go in 8/8. You'll draw 6 cards, and then Tabarax will have lifelink. So you'll have this 8/8 flying lifelinker on the field, as well as the demon you tutor for, as well as drawing 6 cards. If you're not playing Shadowborn Apostles, he's like hot garbage. He's like in like worst tier. Apostles does kind of give you like a lot of creativity, but at the same time, it's like a third of your deck is that card. But then again, you can run whatever your favorite demons are, and you only have like probably at most 10 slots for demons because you have to run like 30 plus apostles. He's really close to being an NPC tier. He's really close. Really close. But I think he's gonna be in Dece. I'm going to get a drink because my throat is starting to hurt having to talk like this for so long. And I got like 50 more commanders to go through.
What the hell? Oh my god, no way.
Okay, I'm back. I got a vanilla Coke. Yeah. It's so garbage. It's bad for you, bounce man. I know. I'm aware. Okay. But I have these. I'm gonna drink them. Villis, Broker of Blood. 5 black. 8 mana. That's a lot. That's a lot, man, for Elmo. That's a lot, man, for Elmo. 8/8 demon creature. Flying. Pay black. And 2 life. Give a creature -1/-1. Okay, what else is there? Whenever you lose life, draw out many cards. Holy fuck. That's really good. You might hear that and think, well, if I lose life, I get close to dying. I don't want to die. My brother in Christ. You're mono black. Exsanguinate? Also, Villas costs like 8 mana, so you're probably pretty heavy on the ramp, too. Dude, look, Villas is just like a really good card. He will draw you so many cards. He's strong. He's at 8/8, so he 3 shots in the air. He can draw you so many cards. You're probably pretty heavy on ramp too because you're mono black, and mono black just tends to make a lot of mana anyways, assuming you actually are able to run like Cabal Coffers and all of the correct cards. if you can't afford like Crypt Gas and all those, I think Villas becomes much harder to build because you really do need that mana ramp for Villas to be good because your deck is just gonna need lots of mana to get there. But he is a very, very powerful commander. And if you have no way to like lose life automatically, guess what? Pay 1 black mana and pay 2 life to draw 2 cards. And give a creature -1/-1, I guess. Whatever. It's fine. Unique and fun. Gives you a payoff for losing life, which is very unique. I don't think we have an effect like that, to be honest. Next up is Nazar, the Velvet Fang. 3 and a black for a 3/3 vampire warlock creature. Menache. Whenever you gain life, put a feeding counter on Nazar. Whenever Nazar attacks, may remove 3 feeding counters from it. If you do, you draw 3 cards, you lose 3 life. What? Why would you? Okay, so I know we mentioned how Villas is like a life loss payoff for a card draw. He's not. He's life gain because you want to gain life in order to keep losing life to draw more cards. Nazar is like Villas at home. Uncommon. I'm starting to realize that these 2 tiers kind of go hand in hand. To be honest, you know what? I'm actually just gonna get rid of uncommon tier altogether, and just put these in strictly worse, because that kind of just makes more sense. To be honest, because I'm realizing the whole uncommon tier just kind of goes hand in hand with the strictly worse tier, because the uncommon commanders just are strictly worse. So just put them all in the worst tier. Okay, cool. Anyways, Purple Girl, who is this? Evereth. Viceroy of Plunder. Ooh, fancy name. 2 and a black for a legendary vampire soldier. 2/2, flying. Sack another creature or artifact. Put a +1/+1 counter on Evereth. If the sacrifice permanent was a treasure, Evereth gains lifelink until on a turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Okay, a little weird. Why it's gotta be sorcery speed? Why? For what purpose? For what purpose? When Evereth dies, you may pay 1 to black or red. When you do, Evereth deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. So you're a black-red treasure deck? She is a free sack outlet in the command zone. That's always good. She flies, so she's got some evasion. She cares about treasure. She can gain some life too because of the treasure clause, and she can deal a crap ton of damage if she dies. I'm not really sure how much I care about the whole like dying thing, because call me crazy, chat, but like you kind of don't want your commander to die. You kind of don't want your commander to die. Call me crazy, but you don't want that. She's so weird, dude. I'm gonna say unique and fun, because there's a lot of things going on there. She's a free sack outlet, she's black-red, she gives out treasure, she gains you life. She gets counters, there's a whole lot going on there. So I think it'd be a little unfair to put her in D's. Who is this? We got Fumulus. Bro, imagine being born and your parents name you Fumulus. Imagine being born and your parents name you I can't say his name. Fumulus or Fumulus? Fumulus, because it's like fumes, but there's no E. So is it Fumulus? Fumulus? Whatever. Vampire insect. How? Literally how? How are you gonna be a bug and become a vampire? How does that make sense? The 4 mana for a 2/2 vampire insect creature. Okay, now looking great. Flying Death Touch. Okay, it's a little better. Whenever a player sacrifices a non-token creature, make a 1/1 black insect creature with flying. Whenever an insect, leech, slug, or worm you control attacks, defending player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Where is he? Where did I put him? Fucking out. NPC tier. insect, leech, slug, or worm.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy.
Please name to me all of like the really good insects, leeches, slugs, and worms in mono black. I literally can't think of one. I literally cannot think of one. Massacre worm. Wait, no, that's different. That's worm with a U, not worm with the O. That's different. That's a different thing. Yeah, no, he's terrible. Now you might say, oh, well, actually, Bounce Man, he gives you insects for making players sacrifice non-token creatures. So he's actually an edict commander. Yeah, cool, bro. Awesome. Sure. Problem is, you gotta have things to sack too. Otherwise, Fumulus just dies. Like, she asks you to play insects, leeches, slugs, and worms, but they're all bad. So, if you build to that, you're NPC tier. If you don't build to that, and you're just this weird, like, mono black, like, aristocrat, mass edict, mono black control deck, everyone hates you because because they can't keep creatures, so you just get ganged up on. Also, even if you don't play into the creature types, you're still probably running like all of the playable edict effects, so your deck's gonna be the same as like every other deck because there's only so many edicts that are good and hit the whole table. So like, what are we gonna say? It's NPC tier. I don't care. You're wrong. Isoreth, the Awakener. 1 black for a human wizard creature, 3/3, Death Touch. Whenever Isoreth attacks, you may pay X mana. When you do, return target creature card of mana value X from your graveyard to the battlefield with a corpse counter on it. If that creature would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. She reanimates things. That's it. She has to attack to do it, which I don't like, but she has Death Touch. So, if they want to try and block and kill her, they're gonna have to like give up something. She's okay. Having to pay X is like kind of not great. Like usually when you play Reanimator, you want to pay low mana cost to get big mana cost things. Like you don't want to pay 8 mana to reanimate Villas. You want to pay 1 mana to reanimate Villas to get him on the field with like reanimate or something, or like animate dead. So having to pay a mana cost that scales with the thing you're trying to reanimate is like kind of not great. Like she'd probably be a lot more popular if it was like you would turn a creature with twice X mana cost. So it's like if you pay 4, you get 8 drop. But alas, she's not that. So she's decent. Except not really, because during this, I completely forgot that Carador exists, who is 3 colors and is basically Isoreth, but better, because he should cost 3 mana, is 2 extra colors, and your creatures don't just get exiled for no reason after you reanimate them. Just play Carador. He's 3 colors, should have the same mana cost, and lets you just cast the same thing multiple times. Also, he cheats on command attacks because of his whole cost reduction thing. Just play him. He's better. Isoreth is strictly worse. Don't play her. Veto. Thorn of the Dusk Rose. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Oh, and he's 3 mana for a 1/3 vampire cleric creature. And you can pay 3 black to give your creatures lifelink to on a turn. Sanguine Bond in the command zone. If you cast Exsanguinate and X equals 10, guess what? You get to dome someone for 30. And that shit's hilarious. That is hilarious. Gorex, the Tomb Shell. 6 black, 8 mana for a 4/4 zombie turtle creature. As a additional cost to cast this spell, you may exile any number of creature cards from your graveyard. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way. He's got Death Touch. Whenever Gorex attacks or dies, choose a card at random, exile with Gorex, and put that card into its owner's hand. I love the whole thing of like, you can actually kind of cheat on command attacks with this guy, because if he costs 2 more, you just exile 4 cards as opposed to 3. So that way it's 2 black again. What I don't like is that he's recursion, and the card you get back is at random. It sucks. It's like lame because his art depicts him being this herald of zombies, because it's like a bunch of zombies like walking beneath this giant like mausoleum turtle, but the cards go to your hand, which is like that's like lame. I'd like him a lot if the cards were to the field, because he'd be really cool then. Maybe if it was like, you know, oh, it has to be mana value 3 or less. That way it's not like busted, right? That way it's not like, oh yeah, you keep getting 8 drop after 8 drop after 8 drop. He's decent. He's decent. Ophelia, Viper Whisperer. 1 black, 2 mana. Ooh. For a 1/3 Gorgon assassin creature. It's got Death Touch. Whenever Ophelia attacks, you may pay 1 in a black or green. If you do, create a 1/1 black snake creature with Death Touch. For 4 in a black, until end of turn, whenever 1 or more Gorgons and or snakes you control deal combat damage to a player, that player loses half their life. She makes Death Touchers. And I think, okay, so Death Touch on big creatures, who cares? Doesn't really matter, right? Like, you know, oh, your Worm Coil Engine has Death Touch, bro, who cares? Literally, who cares? Doesn't matter. It's a 6/6. It was gonna kill most things anyways. But Death Touch on small creatures is like an actually big deal, because now your opponent will lose something, all right? And your 1/1 snakes that Ophelia makes actually become like a legit threat, because if they don't block them, they get domed for half their life total. Golgari snakes, I feel like snakes actually have like a pretty good amount of support for some reason. Like there was Cassetto, that one guy. How many snakes are there in Golgari? I don't even know. There's also Gorgons, but those suck. Don't play those. 115 snakes in Golgari. A lot of them being like 1 or 2 mana Death Touchers. So like, your opponent will trade up with them every time. There's a few cool ones, like, you know, Hex Drinker, Hooded Blightfang, Lotus Cobra's pretty cool. Oran Frostfang gives all your snakes Death Touch. Yeah, like this is actually like totally playable. You can run Gorgons too, but I wouldn't do that. The best one is Vrask of a Silencer from Thunder Junction. After that, Visara the Dreadful? Like, what are you doing, bro? Oh, she's cool. I like her a lot. Unique and fun. It helps if I grab the right card. There we go. Hey, I'm back. I don't know what I was on for this one. You're forced into playing Snakes and Gorgons, both of which are terrible. And you have to play them to make a deck somewhat good. NPC tier. Finally. Ozox, the Clattering King. 2 and a black for a legendary 3/2 skeleton noble creature. Ozox can't block. Womp womp. When Ozox dies, create Jumble Bones. A legendary 2/1 black skeleton token with this creature can't block. And when this creature leaves the battlefield, return target card named Ozox from your graveyard to your hand. I feel like Ozox is just like a combo commander, but maybe not. Because he dies, he makes a creature token, and then when that token dies, you get it back to your hand. So if you have like Ashnod's Altar and a Phyrexian Altar on the field, you can just sack Ozox to Ashnod's, sack the token to Phyrexia, and then you'll have two to black again, and then you can just cast Ozox again, and just loop that with like a Blurrus in the field and win. It's kind of mid, unfortunately. This guy literally only cares about himself. Like, there's no fancy like skeleton tribal thing going on here. It's just Ozox and weird like. He's a death trigger engine. He's a death trigger engine, I guess, for what that's worth. I'm gonna say unique and fun, because I don't think we've had a creature that likes to like die, make a smaller version of himself, and then when that thing dies, gets back the bigger version. That's like kind of weird. Moving on to the red, we have who even is that? What? Oh, Rionia Fire Dancer. 3 red for a human wizard creature. 3/4. Gain a comment on your turn. Create X tokens that are copies of another target creature control, where X has 1 plus the number of instant and sorcery spells you cast this turn. They gain haste. Exile them. Gain next end step. Mono red Spellslinger. Twin Flame in the command zone. If you want to get lots of cool token copies of your favorite creatures and you want to play lots of instant source spells, go right ahead. Go right ahead. But when she dies, because you have no protection in mono red outside of like your J's, don't come crying to me. Cleon, Merry Champion. 2 in a red for a human soldier creature. 2/2 double strike. Heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Cleon, exile the top card of the library. You may play that card until the end of your next turn. Again, just play Feather. Just play Feather. Literally, just play Feather. Brothers Yamazaki. Yeah, okay, cool, dude. Great, awesome. Moving on to... No, okay. This guy literally does not work. He literally does not work as a commander. Yamazaki wants there to be another permanent that is named Brothers Yamazaki in the field. Because when you do, they get like a massive power boost and gain haste. But this is commander. And unfortunately, Yamazaki does not have like the text that says you can run like more than 1 copy of this card in your deck or whatever. So you physically cannot get a second Brothers Yamazaki on the field in mono red. Like you can't. There's no way. It is impossible. So he literally just does not work. Anep, Vizier of Hazoret. 2 in a red for a 4/2 Jackal warrior creature. Trample. You may exert Anep as it attacks. When you do, exile the top 2 cards of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play those cards. Just play like an actually good commander, like Ragavan or something. General Kriot, the Bolt Bringer. 2 in a red for a 2/2 Goblin Soldier creature. Whenever 1 or more goblins you control attack, create a 1/1 red goblin creature that's tapped and attacking. Whenever another creature you control enters, General Kriot the Bolt Bringer deals 1 damage to each opponent. So, this is Impact Tremors in the command zone, which is actually like really good. And if you're in Goblins has so many ways to flood the board, dude. Also, Kriot himself helps you make more goblins with the goblin attack thing, making more goblins. So, you know, he can also help get you there. It helps that Kriot himself does not do attack. It just says attack in general. Every turn, you're probably getting at least 1 goblin. Also, you're in Goblins, so you have, like, one of the most supported creature types in the game. And Impact Tremors in the command zone is actually like really good, because now your Goblins hit everyone in the face. They deal a bolt's worth of damage on ETB. That's insane. Like, bro, this guy genuinely might be better than Krenko. The good one, not the other iterations. You know which one. Mob Boss, the 4-mana one, the one that taps to make like 10 goblins. Like, Kriot deadass might be him. He might be him. Perfect design. Lathless, Dragon Queen. 4 red for a 6/6 dragon creature. Flying, spicy new art. Whenever another non-token dragon you control enters, make a 5/5 dragon with flying. Pay 1 red. Dragons you control get +1/+0 to win a turn. I feel like, so dragons, I find in my games where I literally have a person in my playgroup who plays the Ur Dragon, they never really get more than like 4 dragons out at once. It's never like higher than 4 dragons. So Lathless kind of helps you counteract the issue dragons have, where it's like they kind of struggle to go wide. There are some exceptions. There's Utbara Hellkite. I know there's like a very small selection of dragon cards that actually allow you to go wide, but that's like Oh, yeah. Because dragons have Uvara Hellkite, this must mean that dragons are a go wide tribe. Because Craterhoof exists, this means that elves are a go tall tribe. No, bro, that's not how it works. First of all, Lathless just kind of is like a power doubler for your dragons, or at least along the lines of that, because you get a 5/5 dragon when you cast dragons. Most dragons are around 5/5, so you're getting like 10 power-ish per dragon. Pretty huge. And also, once you have enough dragons, you can just like pump mana into her and give all your dragons at least +3/+0. If you really hate the stipulation of playing 5-color with the dragon, and you just want a nice, clean game of Commander with a dragon deck with no like weird like 5-color shenanigans. Oh, I gotta grab this Triome and this Shockland. Like you just want to play nice 38 mountains Magic, and you like dragons, play Lathless. Lathless is unique and fun. She's pretty cool. Krenko, 10th Street Kingpin. Alright, real quick, bro. Can someone explain to me why is it that literally every single time Krenko gets a new card, he has had, like, facial reconstruction? Why? Krenko's first card, he was, like, tall and, like, skinny. He was very, like, he was, like, snarly. He had, like, yellow skin and, he had a very, like, elongated face. He had, like, sharp teeth. We get his second card, which I think was, like, yeah, it was 10th Street Kingpin in War of the Spark, where he actually looked, like, way different. Like, his face was no longer elongated. His skin was, like, a lot more green now. He looked, like, shorter and fatter. He got a reprint of new art in Mars the Machine Commander, where he just got fucked over so hard. Oh my god, what happened? Now he's like super out of shape. He's fat. He's got facial hair now for some reason. His head shape is like completely flat now, and he's got big old ears that I don't think even the first one had. Then we get Krenko, Baron of 10th Street, where he's like an in-between now, where he's got like yellow skin, but like his first card did, but he doesn't have the oddly humanoid face. He seems to have lost some weight, thank god. And then he also got a new printing of his Mob Boss card in the main set of Foundation, which we'll get to eventually, where he actually seems to match his Baron of 10th Street card art. Wizards, please do a good job of ensuring your artists have a good reference of existing characters. Your characters are not supposed to go through plastic surgery every time they reappear, bro. That's not how this works. They're not supposed to. Anyways, Krenko is, like, kind of bad. He's okay. So when he attacks, he makes goblins equal to his power, and he gets a counter when he attacks too. So he makes 2 goblins, then 3, then 4. But obviously, you want to try and, you know, boost his power so that way you can make like 10 goblins immediately. He has to attack, and he's a 2/3. So why on earth would you ever try and jump through his like power boosting shenanigans and having to attack to make the goblin tokens when you could just play Krenko Mob Boss and just have to tap him to make like 8 goblins? Cut all the weird equipment trying to boost Krenko 10th Street Kingpin and make him be able to attack and not die, and just play Krenko Mob Boss and just play a good goblin deck. Strictly worst tier. Next up, we got Ivora, Insatiable Air. This girl looks like Lae'zel from Baldur's Gate 3. Vampire Warrior. She's got elf ears for some reason. So she's an elf or an orc or like an orc vampire or something, but orc's not in her subtypes, so I guess she's just a vampire. When she enters and whenever she deals... Oh wait, hang on. Let me back up here. 1 red for a 1/1 vampire warrior creature. Trample. When Ivora enters and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, make a blood token, which is an artifact you can pay 1 and tap and sack and discard a card to draw a card. Okay. Whenever you discard a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Avora. So your wheels, all your red wheels, give her a pretty hefty power boost, and she's got trample. That sounds like the definition of Deist to me. Gives all your looting effects utility by just making her bigger. She makes blood tokens, I guess, like whatever. It's fine. Like they're not really that good. You pay 1 and sack them to discard 1 card, draw 1 card. I'm more so concerned with like casting a Wheel of Misfortune, discarding 7 cards and drawing 7 cards and giving her +7/+7. Because now for 3 mana she's in the 3-shot range for commanders. She's decent. That's not really. That's all I gotta say about her, to be honest. I am not even done with Jumpstart, and this video is already like an hour and a half long. Oh no. Zada, Hedron Grinder. 3 in a red for a 3/3 Goblin ally. What's an ally, you ask? Beats me, bro. 3/3. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only Zada, copy that spell for each other creature you control that spell could target. Each copy targets a different one of those creatures. So if you cast a cantrip, the main one is cantrips that draw cards. You draw a card for each creature you have for like 1 mana. So the card draw on Zada is insane. And then also, of course, there's like, you know, power boosting stuff where it's like, oh, I'm gonna swing. Oh, darn, infuriate. My whole board gets +2/+2. Oh, darn, that sucks. Anyways, die. Zada is really good. It's Mirror Wing Dragon, but good. Except not really, because Mirror Wing Dragon came after Zada, and isn't legendary. So it's like, yeah. Zada is a perfect design. It's mono red spellslinger, and it's like the mirror deck where it's like you cast a spell and everything you have gets it. It's just really cool. It's just really cool. It's a cool deck. Not my thing, but regardless, Zada is a design we have never seen before, and it's still, I think, still is like the only commander that does this effect where it's like copying like spells that target creatures to make them scale up with the game. So it's good. Next up, I guess I missed this one. It didn't get in the tier list. I'm glad I caught it. We have Gornog, the Red Reaper. Holy fuck, bro. Bro, his name, Red Reaper? Bro, you know he's gonna be good. 2 in a red for a legendary 2/3 Minotaur warrior. That Hurlu Minotaur callback. Haste. Cowards can't block warriors. Whenever 1 or more warriors you control attack a player, target creature that player controls becomes a coward. Attacking warriors you control get +X+O, where X is the number of cowards your opponents control. With a name like Gornog, the Red Reaper, I was kind of hoping he would have been like a lot more Minotaur focused, because Minotaurs are one of those tribes that like honestly like really should get more support. Like Minotaurs are just cool. They're a cool tribe. Their aesthetic is cool, and they've gotten like no support. Like we've been to Theros twice, and each time Minotaurs got like a few cards for support, and that was it. Like we really do need to get a Minotaur set, because Minotaurs are awesome. The flavor here is amazing. Obviously, cowards can't block warriors. It's cool. Perfect design. Makes your warriors unblockable. I feel like warrior is a really open-ended subtype. I mean, I should actually check. Again, kind of wished it did something with Minotaurs in specific, but that's a me problem. There are 348 warriors in mono red. Yeah, that's enough. You got a lot of options. Perfect design, no notes. Moving on to green, we got a whole lot now. Oh boy, that's a lot of commanders. That's a lot of commanders. All right, first up, we got Braulios of Ferris Band. 3 green for a Centaur Scout creature, star. Braulios' power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. Okay, so he's big. Whenever Braulio's attacks, draw a card, then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Look at that. Look at that. You don't even have to be Cynic anymore to draw cards and put lands into play. No. He's just bad. There's better commanders at 5 mana. He's boring, he's bland, he's just a value engine. I promise you, there is absolutely something more interesting you'll like. I swear. Next up, Shrewfus Sproutsire. 2/3 for a sapling creature, 1/1 with trample. For some reason, it's a 1/1. What is it trampling? It's a 1/1. What's it gonna trample? Whenever a sapling you control deals damage to a player, create that many 1/1 saplings. So your saplings multiply by hitting players. And then Shrewfus has trample because it's funny, I guess. How many cards even reference saplings, dude? 55. 55 cards reference saplings. Yeah, that's an NPC tier if I ever heard one. Next up, we have Selinza, the Spiked Stampede. 400 grand, 5 mana for a beast creature with a 5/5. Beast spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. Each other beast creature you control enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Whenever Selinza or another creature with power 4 or greater enters, you may pay 1 in a red or green. When you do, Selinza fights target creature you don't control. One thing I like, it's whenever any creature with power 4 or greater enters, not just yours. So, if your opponent plays a big creature, Selinza attacks them because it feels like it's encroaching on its territory, or that it feels like the creature is challenging its status as alpha. Oh my god, the flavor is immaculate. That's so cool. Gruul beasts? How many beasts are there in Gruul? Let's find out. 300 beasts. Lord have mercy and heaven above. Sounds like you got a lot of choices to me. Also, dude, the flavor of, like, if your opponents play a creature power 4 or greater and you can pay 2 mana to have Selinza fight it, because it feels it takes its mere existence as a challenge, is like peak. That's peak design, dude. Nah, I don't care. Call me biased. Perfect design. That's cool. Also, your beasts cost not 1 but 2 less to cast. 1 is like, okay, it's good, right? 2 is like insane. Nah. Selinza's awesome. Selinza is so cool. We got Sutina, Speaker of the Tajuru. 200 grand for a 2/2 elf scout creature. When Sutina enters, search your library for a basic land card and put it onto battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Alright, nice and Farhaven elf. Whenever Sutina attacks, you may return a land you control to its owner's hand. When you do, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Bro, you're gonna ask me to de-ramp myself for a single +1/+1 counter? Oh my god, this thing's horrible! This thing's terrible! What the No. Do not play. Do not play. Kodama of the West Tree. 2 green for a 3/3 spirit with reach. Modified creatures you control have trample. A reminder, modifications are equipment, ores, and counters. Whenever a modified creature you control deals common damage to a player, search your library for basic land card and put it on battlefield tapped. Kodama can ramp you an insane amount. She can make you so much mana. She can get you so many forests. And then from there you just cast a bunch of like really big spells. She's good. I feel like modified is like okay. She's just like, she just ramps you a lot. She gives you a reward for playing +1/+1 counters. I don't think the whole like modified specification does enough to remove you from mono green, just like generic Stompy. She will make you a lot of mana, so I can't put her below Dees. Rishkar, Pima Renegade, 2 green for a 2/2 elf druid creature. When Rishkar enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures, and each creature control with a counter on it has tap, add green. So it's not worse than Kodama because the creatures tap to add green. It's not you get lands. You don't gotta hit players with your modified with your countered creatures to make mana. It's just if they have a counter, they can tap to add green. He's decent. It's fine. This is whatever. Vertiloth, the Ancient. 4 green for a tree folk creature. 4/7. Kicker X. Which means you can pay additional X mana as you cast a spell. So you gotta pay 6, and then you can pay any extra amount. Saplings and tree folks you control get +1/+1. Oddly specific, but okay. When Vertiloth enters, if it was kicked, create X 1/1 green saplings. If you're playing Vertiloth for saplings, NPC tier, because there's only like 55 cards in mono green that even reference saplings. If you're playing Vertiloth as a 6 mana anthem that can also maybe make a bunch of chump blockers because you want to play tree folk, then why are you not just playing like Doran or Fangorn? Okay, moving on. Marwyn. 2 green. 1/1 elf druid. Whenever another elf enters, put a counter on Marwyn. Tap. Add mana of green equal to Marwyn's power. Marwyn's busted. Elf ball was stupid. I hate elves. I really hate elves. I really hate elves. I really hate elves. But unfortunately, this is not a tier list about how much I like the creature subtypes they are. Marwyn's very powerful. Marwyn is easily like top 5 most powerful mono green commanders. But that's more so just because elves are busted. But Marwyn can also like add you like 15, 20 mana. Like she's just God. She's not unique. She's not unique. There's like 10 elf commanders out nowadays. She's not unique. She's decent. Mowu. When Mowu gets counters, he gets more counters. Decent. If you want to smack people with a dog, a really big dog, like, okay, I can't stop you. Next up is Herska Sweet Tooth. Winnie the Pooh, but purple. They should have made it. They should have made him yellow. They should have made Herska yellow because he's bro. All right, you can't see it, or I mean, you can see it actually because I'll put the card up in post editing. But Herska's literally sticking her paw in a jar of honey, and she's surrounded by bees. This is Winnie the Pooh. This is literally just Winnie the Pooh. Oh bother, Christopher Robin! My opponent just cast a power word kill on me. I have mere moments to live, Christopher Robin. Oh, Piglet! My opponent has doomed me to a damnation. I am going to be destroyed. Whenever Herska attacks, make a food token. Okay. Artifact you can pay 2 and static gain 3 life. Whenever you gain life, may pay a green or white. When you do, target creature gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the amount of life you gained. I believe it was in Commander Legends. We got Lathiel, I think she's called. Yeah, Lathiel. So Lathiel is 2 green white for a 2/2 unicorn. It has lifelink. Getting your end step, if you gain life this turn, you distribute up to that many counters among a number of creatures. You can have to pay 1 mana every single time to give 1 creature +X/+X, or you can just move to your end step and distribute +1/+1 counters, which are a permanent boost any which way you want amongst your whole board. Herska, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Bro, look. You are literally Winnie the Pooh. I really want to be able to play you. But, like, oh, you're not good. Oh, you're not good. Oh, you're so not good. Lathiel is better in every way. Lathiel is better in every way. Dionys, Elvish Archdruid. Elves you control have... Okay, alright, yeah. Galta, new art. Yay! God knows you don't have enough representation or reprints in the world. Why is Galta $2? It gets reprinted constantly. How is Galta not like 20 cents? Bro, what? Okay, regardless, Galta. 12 minutes for 12 Elder Dinosaur. But Galta costs X less a cast, where X is the total power of creatures you control. And she's got Trample. Majestic Genesis goes bonkers. Goes bonkers in a Galta deck. Flip the top 12. Put all permanents into play. Beyond that, Galta is just a big, fat creature in the command zone. Which, to be honest, in mono green is, like, really good. Because now all of your, like, draw cards equal to a creature's power is, like, draw 12. And also, her costing X less to cast, which is based on the power of your creatures, actually does allow you to scale your commander attacks with her. So, if she's died once and she costs 14 instead of 12, she can still only cost 2 green because you just need 14 power on the board. Green's balanced, by the way, guys. Green is like a totally fair color nowadays. Just so we're clear, it's not like broken at all. No. What do you mean green draws more cards than blue does nowadays? No, that's not true. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? She's unique and fun because she's just a big fat dinosaur. Finally, reaching the end of Jumpstart, we have Averna, the Chaos Bloom. Green, blue, red for a 4/2 elemental shaman creature. As you cascade, you may put a land card from among the exile cards onto the battlefield tapped. Now, if you're a new player, you might be asking, Bounce Man, what the hell is Cascade? Alright, so funny story, right? Cascade is a super old mechanic where when you cast a spell, you get to, like, flip cards off the top until you hit a spell with lesser mana value. And then you cast that spell for free. Now, you might read Averna and think, wow, so all my Cascade spells just, like, ramp me and give me a free land? That sounds amazing. And you would be right if it weren't for the fact that you only have, like, your choice between, like, 30 Cascade spells in blue, red, green. Furthermore, there's a chance that you just don't even hit a land. And even worse, because you only have, like, 30 Cascade spells you can even choose from in these colors, Averna unfortunately gets NPC tier because every Averna deck will just run the exact same package of Cascade cards. Like every Averna deck will look the exact same. If you want to play a Cascade deck, just play, like, if you want to just cast a bunch of spells for free with Cascade, just play Emoti. Just play Emoti. Emoti just gives your big spells Cascade for free. So, unfortunately, Averna, as cool as the design is, Averna gets NPC tier, unfortunately. After 2 hours of recording, I'm finally done with Jumpstart. Bro, I'm gonna be here for like 4 hours, tier listing commanders. Moving on to the main set now. First up, we have Zetalpa. Oh my god, dude. Why do they keep reprinting this thing? Why? Wizards, listen to me, alright? Listen to me, alright? No one likes Zetalpa, okay? We don't. If you're playing Zetalpa, it's for meme status. It's not a good card. Even in, like, Cathril, it's not even that good. Like, bro, I don't understand why they keep reprinting this thing. No one likes Zetalpa. It's just some giant fat Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl, the Pokemon? Yeah, Aerodactyl. Pterodactyl. I'm not putting it in strictly worst do not play because, again, no one's playing Zatalpa in the command zone because it's good. They're playing it for meme status, and that's it. So, honestly, I would give Zatalpa its own tier, but I'm a little afraid of running out of screen space, so I'm not going to do that. I'll leave it in D's. It should be in do not play, to be honest, but I'll put it at the top of do not play. Jizzal, Johnny's brother, who is dead. 2 white for a 4/4 cat warrior. First strike. Pay 3 white. Attacking creatures you control. Get +X on a turn, where X is the number of attacking creatures. Jizzal Goldmane was the closest thing white had to a Crater Hoof before Moonshaker. So if you want a finisher in the command zone, sure, yeah. Like, just if you want just a way to close the game out in the command zone, he's fine. Decent. Lyra Dawnbringer. 3 white for a 5/5 angel creature. Flying. First strike lifelink. Other angels you control get +1/+1 and have lifelink. Lyra should just be in the 99 of a Gyata deck. She's fine on her own, but Gyata is just better in every way. If you want to play an angel deck, just play Gyata. Put Lyra in the 99 of your Gyata deck. Alright, cool, awesome. Arabo, the first Fang. 2 and a white for a 2/2 cat avatar. Other cats you control get +1/+1. Whenever Arabo or another non-token cat you control enters, create a 1/1 white cat creature token. So funny story. Arabo debuted in a precon. Arabo had Eminence in that deck. His Eminence was like just give a cat +3/+3 every turn, which was pretty good. That Arabo was also green-white and not mono-white. So cats are like, I hate to say it, but they're kind of like a not good tribe because so a lot of cats have this weird like equipment sub-theme for some reason. I don't really know why. I think it was because a lot of them were made during like Mirrodin, which was like the artifact set. So there's cats as a tribe had this very weird sub-theme of like equipment stuff. Green white Arabo already kind of like struggled because the precon kind of played into the equipment sub-theme because, to be honest, the dev team kind of like had to, because otherwise that deck would have just been unplayable garbage. That deck also just had the support of green being a good, consistent color. This Arabo does not have that. Green white cats is like undersupported. Mono white cats is just like straight trash. If you're gonna play cats, play Arabo or the green white Arabo, or even like the Ajani from MH3. Like, red gives you nothing in terms of cats, but being Boros is still better than being mono white. Finally, for white, we have Linden, the Steadfast Queen. 3 white mana for a 3/3 human noble creature. Vigilance. Whenever a white creature you control attacks, you gain 1 life. This is a life gain commander, but rather than being the payoff, she is the enabler. So you don't really need to have a ton of like life gain effects because Linden is your life gain, so you can go a little heavier on the life gain payoffs, which is a significant difference. So I think that alone keeps her out of the strictly worst tier compared to I guess Heliod or something like that, right? I'll say she's decent. She's 3 mana, so she's not expensive. She's very cheap to play. If she dies once, you can cast her again and not be too upset about it. You're encouraged to go white, which is pretty on theme for white as a color. You can play like tokens and start gaining a bunch of life for all your tokens. And again, you can just be a little heavier on the life gain payoffs and be a little lighter on the life gain enablers. So all in all, she's fine. Moving on to blue, we have Arcanus, the Omnipotent. 3 blue, so 6 mana total for a 3/4 wizard creature. Tap him to draw 3 cards. And then you can pay 2 blue, so 4 mana to return Arcanus to your hand, but you're never gonna do that. Arcanus just draws you a crap ton of cards. That's it. goes absolutely insane with like untapped shenanigans. Blue has a few creatures that are like tap it to untap any permanent, so it can be a land or a mana rock or in this case Arcanist to draw more cards. Free from the real, it goes nuts at him because it becomes just 1 mana, draw 3 cards with him because you pay 1 to untap him and then tap him again and draw 3 cards. It's just really good. If you just want to be able to have, if you just want to have like the serotonin in my veins, if you just want that for Commander, and you just want to draw a lot of cards, Arcanist is fine. He's good. Next up, Kiora, the Rising Tide. Ooh, Kiora got a new card. 2 in a blue for a 3/2 Merfolk Noble creature, formerly a Planeswalker, but she got desparked. When Kiora enters, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. Okay, so you what is it? Careful study. You careful study. Okay. Threshold. Whenever Kiora attacks, if there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard, you may create Scion of the Deep, a legendary 8/8 blue octopus creature token. Did it have to be legendary? Look, I get it. Making a bunch of 8/8s isn't really Blue's thing. Blue is the tempo color. But, like, Kiora just boils down to being this, like 3 mana 11/10 in the command zone, and that's it. For 3 mana, though, I mean, it's something. You can blink her, I guess, and get some card selection, but, like, why? That's, like, kind of silly. She has to attack to even make the octopus in the first place. She's a 3/2. She's gonna die in combat. She will. Unless you give her, like, a Whisper Silk Cloak. But even then, there's no point in even trying to make her survive combat, because you can't have more than 1 of these octopi. I guess you can run, like, Spark Double or, like, Sakashima to try and, like, avoid the Legend Clause, but, like, that... It's Kiora, so there is, like, the flavor reason to play her, too, because lots of people love Kiora, because Kiora is, like, the sea monster planeswalker. Her whole thing is, like, massive leviathans and sea serpents and krakens and all that. That's her whole, like, shtick. I'll keep her in these. Moving on to black. We have Zul Ashur, Lich Lord. 1 in a black. Ooh. 2/2. So 2 mana. 2 mana for a 2/2 zombie warlock creature. Ward, pay 2 life. So it's basically that, like, Deadbolt Cheeto meme. Oh man, 2 life. Darn. Tap her to allow you to cast target zombie creature card from your graveyard this turn. Mono black is on the commander. So that's kind of spicy. Recursion for your zombies in the command zone. She's like fine. Just a recursion engine. She's nice and cheap too. Not like expensive at all. Yeah, it's fine. Decent. Next up we got Tiny Bones, Bauble Burglar. 1 to black for a 1/3 skeleton rogue creature. Whenever an opponent discards a card, exile it from their graveyard with a stash counter on it. During your turn, you may play cards you don't own with stash counters on them from exile, and mana of any type can be spent to cast those spells. Pay 3 in a black, tap, each opponent discards a card. Activate only as sorcery. I kind of don't like this design. So, the first Tiny Bones... So, the issue with discard as a strategy is that what happens is everyone ends up with no hands, but you just can't end the game. You're a discard deck. There's not really a ton of ways to actually close out the game once your opponents are down to having no cards in hand. So what ends up happening is you sit there for like 5-10 turns just like wailing on people with like some random creatures. Original Tiny Bones actually had a way to like circumvent that. He had an ability that was like pay 6 to just deal 10 to every opponent with no cards in hand. So Tiny Bones was a discard deck that actually had a way to close out the game somewhat efficiently. This one does not. So you're just this like annoying discard deck that makes people sit there for a pretty long time and just not play the game. I I kind of want to put Tiny Bones in like do not play tier, because I feel like original Tiny Bones is just better. But then again, there's a theft aspect here, right? He's not really the exact same. I'll leave him in Dece, but if you're gonna build him, I'm gonna warn you right now, you're gonna get targeted, and it will become like the deck's existence in your playgroup will cause problems, because like there will be a conversation about how there will be a conversation about how the deck can't end games fast enough, and what ends up happening is you all sit there for 10 turns doing nothing, because the discard deck has no way to actually like end the game once everyone has no cards in hand. Next up, Myojin of Night's Reach. 5 and 3 black mana, so 8 mana total for a 5/2 spirit creature. Myojin of Night's Reach enters with a divinity counter on it if you cast it from your hand. Oh. Okay. Myojin of Night's Reach has indestructible as long as it has a divinity counter on it, which it won't because it's commander. And then remove a divinity counter from Myojin of Night's Reach. Each opponent discards their hand. Now, you might read this and think, oh, this thing just doesn't work as a commander. Wrong. Wrong. There actually are a few ways to get your commander into your hand from the command zone. The ones I can see in mono black are Campfire, Command Beacon, and Netherborn Altar. So it is possible to play Myojin as your commander and be able to just make everyone like discard their hands, and from there you probably just win because your opponents just can't interact with you anymore. However, it's 8 mana, and you gotta jump through a loop. You gotta jump through a hoop to even be able to get there. And once again, as I mentioned before, the issue with these discard decks is that you tend to actually struggle to close out the game once your opponents have no cards in hand. However, you don't actually have to be a discard deck. You can just run Myojin as this like nuclear bomb in the command zone. That's like a finisher, because once your opponents have no hand, you play an actual finisher like Torment of Hailfire or something. Myojin's 8 mana. You're gonna need some mana ramps to get there to get her out at a decent pace. I think having to actually jump through the hoop of needing to get her into your hands, make her work, actually makes her kind of unique, to be honest. When Myojin first got printed, all the cards I mentioned that actually put her into your hand just didn't exist. So back then, Myojin just didn't work as commander. But nowadays, there's a few ways to get your commander into your hand to avoid that clause. So this is pretty cool. Next up, moving on to red now. Drakuseth, Maw of Flames. 4 red, 7 mana total for a 7/7 dragon creature. Flying, of course. Whenever Drakuseth attacks, it deals 4 damage to any target and 3 damage to each of up to 2 other targets. And that's it. If you want a big fat red beater in the command zone, sure. But if you want to play a dragon deck, just play Lathless. This is like Red Zatalpa, to be honest. Red Zatalpa. Don't play Drakuseth. At least don't play Drakuseth as a commander. Play him in the 9/9 all day. It's cool. It's chill there. But as a commander, it's not good. Next up, oh boy, Kellen got a new card again. Oh boy, let's see this time. All right, 1 red mana. Ooh, that's kind of spicy. For a 2/1 human fairy scout creature, 1 and a red. If Kellen is a scout, it becomes a human fairy detective and gains. Whenever Kellen deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. And then for 2 and a red, if Kellen is a detective, it becomes a 3/2 human fairy rogue and gains double strike. So you pay mana to upgrade him, and then the end result is a 3/2 double striking that a 3/2. The end result is a prophetic flame speaker. The end result is a prophetic flame speaker. You paid 6 mana for a 2 mana card. Correction, 3 mana card. My bad. I mean, I guess technically there's nothing that's strictly better at what he does, but he's still pretty bad. You can play him if you want. but like, he's not gonna be very good. Krenko Mob Boss, 2 red, for a 3/3 Goblin Warrior creature. Tap him. Create X 1/1 red Goblin creature tokens, where X is the number of goblins you control. I mean, what would we say? Krenko, to this day, still holds up as like one of the coolest commanders out there. He's simple, and he just makes you lots of goblins if you have more goblins. He's Goblin Ball. He's Goblin Ball. You got 10 goblins, make 10 more goblins. You got 20 goblins, make 20 more goblins. He's just fun. He's just fun. I will tap my commander to make 21 goblin tokens. Yeah, bro. Yeah, do that in a game and tell me that's not fun. He is old as time itself. Krenko is iconic, bro. Iconic. Finally, we got Atali. Oh boy. 4 red for a 6/6 Elder Dinosaur creature. Whenever Atali attacks, exile the top card of each player's library. Then, you may cast any number of spells from among those cards without paying the mana costs. So you can either actually build into the whole like exile theme and play like whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, do the thing, and you can run this like exile matters deck, or you can just run Atali as this like mono red good stuff thing, because Atali will cast you. Atali usually casts like 3 spells ish a turn for free, which usually gets you like anywhere to like 5 to 15 minutes worth of free spells. Atali is just an insane value engine. You want haste, because you definitely do not want to pay 6 to cast Atali and then do nothing. That feels bad. But I mean, it's again, this is more so just like a, you know, Atali swing. Oh, serotonin in my veins. Oh. So you know, I mean, he's just fun. He's just fun. He's just a bunch of value. All right, moving on to green now. Dwinnen, Gilt Leaf Dayan. 2 green for a 3/4 Elf Warrior. Reach. Other elves you control get +1/+1. Okay. Whenever Dwinnen attacks, you gain 1 life for each attacking elf you control. This is like super mid compared to Marwyn. Don't play her. Not good. Marwyn is better. Don't play her. Finn the Fangbearer. 1 green for a 1/3 human warrior creature. Death Touch. Whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. Reminder, a player with 10 or more poison counters loses the game. So you play mono green Death Touch, and you get to work on just a completely unique axis from everyone else, because every other player needs to deal like 40 damage to win. You only gotta deal like 5. Because your Death Touch creatures only got hit them 5 times before they get 10 poison and they die. Finn is unique and fun. Mono green poison. Also gives Death Touch creatures like a purpose besides just being like small Death Touch creatures. Loot. Oh my god. Oh my god. Loot. One second here. 1 second. Let me just Alright, cool. Moving on. Serac the Hunt Caller. 2 green. 5/4. Human warrior creature. Beginning a combat on your turn. If creatures you control have total power 8 or greater, 1 creature gains haste. Sheesh! No. So, funny story. We just got... First of all, green keeps getting haste for some reason. I don't know why. Green is supposed to be like the big and slow color, and red's supposed to be like the small and fast color, but recently Wizards just said, no, fuck you. Green gets haste too, for no reason. For some reason. I don't know why. Again, green gets everything. If you want a haste in the command zone, you can play... I know it exists. What's the... if you want haste in the command zone, you can play Serac and Goreclaw, which gives every non-token creature you cast a counter, a plus counter specifically, haste, and trample. It does cost 2 more mana, but who cares? You want to be able to give multiple creatures haste. And also, it makes them grow by a point in power and toughness, and also gives them trample, which is really important for your green deck. Green wants trample, like, really badly for their big creatures. There are several green commanders that give haste, or trample, or, like, just do more for how much you pay for them. Serac is not what you want. Next up, we have Ramos Dragon Engine. Oh, baby. Oh, boy. 6 generic mana for a 4/4 artifact creature dragon. First of all, not even acknowledging what he does, he's a robot dragon. That alone gives you, like, reason enough to play him. But in case you are not convinced yet, let me read what he does. Flying, obviously. Whenever you cast a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Ramos for each of that spell's colors. Remove 5 +1/+1 counters from Ramos. Add 2 mana of each color to your mana pool. But hold on. You can only do that once each turn. If you cast a 5-color spell, Ramos gets 5 counters, and you can remove them all immediately to add 10 mana. And then cast some gigantic, like I don't know, ultimatum or something. Bro, look, maybe this is like the bias in me speaking, but bro, Ramos is just so fun. Ramos is so fun, dude. He gives you a purpose for playing multicolor spells. You can go with Voltron and try and, like, beef him up with, like just cool, like, fancy auras. You can give him trample, and casting spells just grows him. You can remove 5 counters to add 10 mana, which is insane. You get to play all your fancy, like, Alara, Tarkir, multicolor, jank, bulk, mythic rares, and be like, oh, wow! Add Protector's mana, cast him, wow! You can play all your fancy 5-color cards. Like, dude, it's just fun, dude. It's just fun to resolve all of these, like, crazy, like, multicolor spells, dude. It's just fun. It's just fun. If you want a really nice hit of serotonin, bestow a Chromanticore on him. Thank me later. Alright, moving on here. We got Zimone, Paradox Sculptor. I kind of don't like Zimone because we found out that Zimone was so boring of a character that her biggest fear in Dustborn was getting a bad grade. How boring of a character do you have to be for your most defining trait as a character to be like, oh my god, not an F, no, please. It's cringe. Anyways, 2 blue-green for a 1/4 human wizard creature. Beginning a combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures you control. So at combat, you get a +1/+1 counter on 2 creatures. Okay. Pay blue-green. Tapper, double the number of each kind of counter on up to 2 target creatures and or artifacts for some reason. Why? For charge counters? I mean, that's kind of spicy, actually. You can run, like, Lux Cannon and have it be actually good because you don't gotta spend 3 turns charging it. You know what? Unique and fun. She's just a power cut Varel. So, Vorel players, congrats, you got to upgrade. Unless you, like, have some sort of, like, attachment to Vorel, in which case, oh, El Bozo. Tatiova. I'm gonna read her to know what she does. 3 generic, are green and blue, for a 3/3 Merfolk Wizard creature. Whenever a land you control enters, you gain 1 life, and draw a card. All your crazy land ramp in green now draw 2 cards, and gain 2 life. I mean, she's very open-ended, right? Because all you need to make her work is land ramp. You know, Boundless Realms can draw you like 7 cards now, whatever. Gains you life, so you get a little bit of cushion against those aggro decks while you spend turns ramping. I'm not sure why she gains you life. Again, you know, green just has to get everything now. Life gain. Oh yeah, that's because that was totally green's thing for so long. Unique and fun, I guess. Drawing cards is a thing most people like to do. Prime Speaker Zagana. 2 green, blue for a 1/1. Wow, terrible. Merfolk Wizard creature. Alright, not looking good. Prime Speaker Zagana enters with X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the greatest power among other creatures you control. And when Prime Speaker Zagana enters, you draw cards equal to its power. Play big creatures, draw cards. And if you want to draw more cards, you can Blinker, I guess, with those blue spells, like Essence Flux, I guess. I mean, again, she's open-ended, but she does force you to play big creatures, which I think is a bit bigger of a restriction compared to Tatsova. Tatsova literally just like works on by itself. You don't even really need to build around Tatsova for Tatsova to work. You do have to be playing big creatures to get some sort of value out of her. So I think for that reason, I'm gonna leave her in D tier. To be honest, there probably is some sort of like strictly better Simic big creature commander that I can't think of right now, but I can't think of one, so I'm just leave her there. Oh, Vika! Enigma Goliath. 5 blue red, 7 mana. Ooh, big ask. For a 6/6 Phyrexian Nightmare creature with flying, ward, pay 3 mana and 3 life. So she's got a pretty hefty like ward cost, so your opponent's gotta go out of their way to kill her. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create X/1/1 red Phyrexian Goblin creature tokens, where X is the mana value of that spell. They gain haste until end of turn. It's a spell slinger, but you are encouraged to actually play like high cost spells, and you get like a bunch of like goblins for it, so you can run like you can run like a bunch of like aristocrat stuff, like Ashnod's Altar or Phyrexian Altar, to like sack the goblins you make off your spells just to make that mana back, which is like really strong. Like, yes, you gotta actually get the mana to cast her, which isn't super hard. Red has lots of like ritual effects like Mana Geyser or like or even just like treasure stuff, which makes ramping easy too, like all your big scores and whatnot, right? The access of like having to cast big spells and also getting like a bunch of like goblin tokens to work with is pretty cool, I think, in my opinion. I like it. Niv Mizzet Visionary. This is like his 7th card he's gotten. 4 blue red for a 5/5 dragon wizard creature. Flying. You have no max hand size. Whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, you draw that many cards. I think this Niv Mizzet probably is like the best Dragon's Approach commander in existence now. For those of you who don't know, Dragon's Approach is a 3 mana spell that says it deals 3 damage to each opponent. But you can have any number of them in your deck. And also, whenever you cast one, you can exile 5 other cards. I think it's 5, right? It's 5 other cards. Yeah, you can exile. You can exile the Dragon's Approach you just cast and 4 other Dragon's Approaches in your graveyard to go and grab a dragon from your deck and just put it into play. What's funny though is that this Niv Mizzet actually combos with all of her previous, or all of his previous iterations. Like Niv Mizzet's thing's always been like drawing cards deals damage. So if you tutor one of the other blue-red Niv Mizzets with your Dragon's Approach, you just win, because you draw cards which causes Niv Mizzet the Fire Mind to deal damage to someone, which triggers Visionary, which draws you a card, which deals damage, which draws you a card. So you can just play this like blue-red Dragon's Approach combo deck and just win with Niv Mizzet. It's like that the medal meme of like Obama giving himself the gold medal. Unique and fun. Like even if you don't build it into the whole Dragon's Approach deck, you can still play this like blue-red burn spell deck that draws you an insane amount of cards. Muldrotha, the Gravetide. 3 black, green, blue for a 6/6 elemental avatar creature. During each of your turns, you may play a land and cast a permanent spell of each permanent type from your graveyard. So you play Self-Mill and you can just loop a ton of spells in your graveyard. There are tons of cards that are like, oh, play this and sack it to do something, right? Like, I'll list a few off the top of my head. Seal Primordium, Wayfarer's Bauble, Executioner's Capsule, Sakura Tribe Elder. So the value you can get off Muldrotha is insane. Muldrotha is a must remove, but to be honest, like you can have so much like repeatable ramp in this deck that once she survived for like 2 or 3 turns, you kind of don't care if she dies, because at that point you've probably ramped so much that you just like don't care about the command attacks because you've ramped so much over those couple of turns. Like Muldrotha can easily ramp you like 6 lands. Oh no, yes, kill my commander. I'll tap 8 of my 18 lands to cast her again. Oh darn. She's flexible. The only ask she has is that you play permanent spells and have a way to fill your graveyard. And once beyond that, you can play whatever you want. And she still, to this day, is honestly a really unique commander. And also, the art on her is just gorgeous. The art on Muldrotha is amazing. She's so beautiful. Lathril. Oh my god. Elves. 2 black green for a 2/3 elf noble. Menace. Whenever Lathril deals combat damage to a player, create that many 1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens. Tap 10 untapped elves you control. Each opponent loses 10 life and you gain 10 life. It's elves. To be honest, the whole like tapping 10 elves to have each opponent lose 10 is kind of like irrelevant, because elves have so many ways to close out the game already that I don't think having a finisher in the command zone is even that good. And Lathril by herself makes you 2 elves if she connects, which is kind of mid. She is black-green and not mono-green, so you do get access to all of your black elf effects. If you really want to play black-green elves and like not just mono-green elves, Lathril probably is your best bet, because there just isn't really a black-green elf commander that adds you a bunch of mana like Morrowind does. So I'll leave her in D's. She's not strictly worse than Morrowind. I think she probably as a commander is worse, because she does not add you like 15 million mana. But again, if you really want those black elf effects, Lathril is probably your best bet. Kaikar Zephyr Awakener. 2 white blue for a 3/4 bird wizard creature. Flying. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, choose 1. Exile another target creature you control, and return that card to the battlefield under its own control between next end step, or create a 1/1 white spirit creature with flying. If you're playing it for the blink effects, I'm not sure why you wouldn't just play Brago, because Brago just exiles your whole board every turn. Then again, well actually, no, what's the difference? There's the difference, because with Kaikar, you can be more reactive. Like you can just say Drago and just play like a few really good ETB effects to abuse, because you can run, you know, your blue-white. Blue-white is inherently a reactive color. Brago kind of really wanted you to be like proactive, but with Kaikar, you can kind of just sit back and just like, okay, I'll play a Wall of Omens because it draws a card and I'll pass, and just play like blue-white mediator and just make sure no one wins the game or goes too out of control. Or you can just be like blue-white flyers and have all your non-creature spells make you spirits for free and just go wide. You can do that too. You know what? Unique and fun. Can I like zoom out of the tab so that y'all can actually see it? Can I do that? Yeah, there we go. Much better. Moving on. Helena and Elena. Just really good friends. 2 red-green. For a 2/3 human ranger creature. First strike and reach. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put X +1/+1 counters on another target creature you control, where X is Helena and Elena's power. That creature gains haste until end of turn. Haste engine. Really good. +1/+1 counter engine. Also really good. if you buff up Helena and Elena, they can start putting like 7, 8, 9 counters on a creature every turn. Really good. Even just giving like +2/+2 every turn and haste is like really good on its own. You honestly don't even need to boost Helena and Elena to make them good. You can just run them as like a haste engine and a counter engine and be fine. And from that point forward, you can just do whatever you want. You can just run like a bunch of like crazy creatures. You can play like dragons. You can play like +1/+1 counter synergies. You can really just do whatever you want with them. You know what? It's a clean design. You really don't have any sort of requirement to actually play them. You can build the deck however you want, and it'll probably perform pretty well. Perfect design. Elenda is up next. Saint of Dusk, 2 white black for a 4/4 vampire knight. Lifelink hexproof from instance is actually pretty significant. As long as your life total is greater than your starting life total, Elenda gets +1/+1 and has menace. Okay. Elenda gets an additional +5/+5 as long as your life total is at least 10 greater than your starting life total. What the hell? Wait. Okay, so Elenda can be 4 mana for a 10/10 with lifelink, menace, and a hexproof from instance. Y'all, we are at an age of Commander where most removal in people's decks is instance. So Elenda is actually like pretty hard to remove. You're in white black. That's life gain colors. Elenda is gonna be a 10/10, which is gonna gain you 10 life every turn. And guess what? If they want to block, they have to send 2 creatures at her. All you have to do is be a life gain deck, and Elenda will be nuts for you. I kind of wish she had 1 more point of power, because commander damage is 21. So if she hits someone twice, they'll be at 20. Which kind of sucks. I don't like that. I think that keeps her off of perfect design, to be honest. The fact that like you put her literally inches away from 2-shot commander range is like it's like they're taunting you. Game design is literally taunting you. Ha ha! You gotta put an equipment on her to make her 2-shot. Ha ha! Funny. I'll put her in. I'll put her in perfect. Why not? It's fine. I'll be merciful. Garna, Blood Fist of Keld. 1 black/red for a 4/3 human berserker creature. Whenever another creature control dies, draw a card if it was attacking. Otherwise, Garna deals 1 damage to each opponent. Again, like open-ended, doesn't really ask you much. You could just play like black/red aggro and be fine. If your creatures die mid-combat, who cares? You draw cards. You could go go wide aristocrats and try and make like a crap ton of tokens and like stack them all at once to deal 20 damage to everyone's face at once. You could do that as well. Or you can just run her as a good card draw. Unique and fun. Very, very generic value engine that like does not ask you a whole lot. Balmor, Battle Mage Captain. Blue/red for a 1/3 bird wizard creature. Flying. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain trample until end of turn. 2 mana Sprayed Sheep. However, there is one commander that I think might just be strictly better, and that is Narset and Light and Exile. Narset and Light and Exile is Jeskai, but 4 mana, but she gives all of your creatures prowess, but no trample. But when Narset attacks, she also gives you recursion, where you exile spells from your graveyard and then you can cast them for free. She is 4 mana versus 2, but you get white. Prowess means you get a toughness boost as well, not just a power boost. I feel like that's kind of worth it. Like, if you're gonna play this, like, spell slinger go wide mishmash theme, I really feel like Narset is just better. Like, yes, Balmor is cheap, but being cheap doesn't really matter if the commander itself needs set up to be good in the first place. Balmor, I'm sorry, but I think Narset Alien Exile is just better. Sorry, bud. Aurelia the War Leader. 2 red, red, white, white. 6 mana. Ugh, pretty expensive. 3/4 Angel creature. Flying Vigilance Haste. Keyword soup. Whenever Aurelia attacks for the first time each turn, untap all creatures you control. After this phase, there is an additional combat phase. Just an extra combat phase in the command zone. And you can build her however you want. Seems pretty good to me. Unique and fun. Congrats, Aurelia. Congrats. Awesome. Good for you. Ailey, Eternal Pilgrim. White black. 2 mana. Ooh. Y'all know I love my cheap commander design spaces. Y'all know I love those. White black for a 2/3 core cleric creature. Death Touch. Pay 1 generic. Sack another creature. You gain life equal to a sacrifice creature's toughness. Pay 1, a white and a black. Sack another creature. Exile target non-land permanent. Activate only if you have at least 10 life more than your starting life total. So now your life gain aristocrats, and your payoff, if you can get up to, like, I guess 50 life is the right number here, is just being able to, like, vindicate things. I really wish you didn't have to pay the 1 generic for the first mode, like the first sack mode, but at the same time, she only costs 2 mana. So, like, how much can I ask, really? Unique and fun. Ruby. Daring Tracker. Red and a green for a 1/2 human scout with haste. Whenever Ruby attacks, while you control a creature power 4 or greater, Ruby gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So she goes from a 1/2 to a 3/4. Okay, whatever. Then you can tap her to add a red or a green. A +2/+2 power boost. Oh, wow. A 3/4, man. Awesome. Deece. She's Deece. She's just Deece. Just play an actually, like, interesting rule commander. Coma. The last Coma was pretty busted. The last Coma we saw was pretty busted. So I got some hopes here. 3 green, green, blue, blue. So 7 mana total. But you're in green, so it's, like, fine. For a 8/12! An 8/12 serpent! It can't be countered. Of course. Yeah, of course. Ward 4. Oh! Awesome. Great, dude. Trample. Of course. Yeah, I mean that was given. Whenever Coma hits someone in the face, create 4 3/3 blue serpents tokens named Coma's Coil. I think this one's worse. I think this one's worse. Original Coma is like way stronger in this thing. Original Coma made a 3/3 every upkeep and, like, could protect itself and, like, shut things down by sacking said serpents. I mean, yeah, this thing's, like, really beefy, but that's kind of it. The first one's way stronger. Deadass. Yeah, like, just don't play it. Just play original Coma. It's not good. Alessia, who laughs at fate. Goofy all name. 1 black red, so 3 mana for a 2/2 human warrior. First strike. Whenever Alessia attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. At the beginning of your end step, if you attack this turn, return target creature card with mana value less than or equal to Alessia's power from your graveyard to the battlefield. Y'all know how I feel about commanders that have to attack to do their thing. They gotta have a good body. They gotta have good stats to back it up. She's a 2/2. Pretty small, but when she attacks, she gets a +1/+1 counter. And She even has first strike. What's that? No haste. And bolt is 1 mana. She dies to lightning bolt even after an attack trigger. Oh my god, she's horrible. This card is so bad. Don't play. No. 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 You want to play Black Red Reanimator? Play an actually good commander. Chainer. Play Chainer. Just play Chainer. Alright. The king has returned. After 1,000 years in slumber, the legend, the myth, the avatar, Progenitus. Back when 5-color commanders were actually cool. Let me tell you something. I'm getting real sick of every set having a 5-color commander. And every time it's always just like the most jank, unplayable garbage ever. Or it's just like it builds itself. 5-color commanders were an enigma. You looked at them and were like, what the hell do with this thing? Progenitus. For those of you who don't know, the myth, the legend. White, white, blue, blue, black, black, red, red, green, green. So 2 of each color for a 10/10 Hydra avatar with protection from everything. In today's World Commander, Progenitus' mere existence does wonders for you, okay? Stinging Study. 5 mana instant, draw 10 cards. Majestic Genesis. 8 mana, flip a top 10. Put all permanents into play. Furthermore, it is so easy nowadays to set up these like one-shots with Progenitus, dude. Rafik of the Many. Attack. Exalted trigger, double strike. Someone's dead. And by the way, protection from everything means it cannot be targeted, and it cannot be blocked, and it cannot be dealt damage by anything. The only way your opponents kill this thing is with a board wipe or with like some like weird edicts like Soul Shatter, where it's like you specifically have to sack the biggest thing, whatever. Progenitus is the absolute peak of 5-color design because its entire like identity is just built solely on vibes. It costs 2 of every color. It has protection from everything. Its flavor text is the soul of the world has returned. Its art is so panned out, dude. It's like a kaiju. It's like Godzilla or something, or like King Ghidorah. You cannot fathom how big this thing is in flavor. It's so big in the art that its mere like eruption out of the ocean is causing this like giant mist cloud to envelop it. You can't even get a good view of what it is. 5-color commanders used to be enigmas that were just like, what do I do with this thing? What is this? And nowadays it's like Marina Vendrell. We get a new 5-color commanders used to be like a once in a blue moon. Now we get one every set. And the vibes of 5-color have been tainted forever because we get boring crap like Kenrith. Or Marina Vendrell, or Cody, or something stupid. Anyways, yes. Please build Progenitus. You will not regret it. He's cool. He's fun. You run like all like the one-shot setups and like the Commander Man value cards, and from there you just go nuts. Do whatever you want. You probably gotta have some ramp, some like big mana ramp, to make casting him feasible. But beyond that, go nuts, do what you want. And with that out of the way, I think, personally, that is a pretty good tier list. I'll be honest, I kind of like never know how to end these videos, like at all. Like I never know what like a good like closing note is. Like, yeah, I could just say, oh, like and subscribe, and just like roll outro.